Keir, who is the International Student Recruitment Officer, who will be explaining about and discussing the undergraduate programs, and Cam, who is the Recruitment and Retention Coordinator at the School of Graduate Studies from Memorial University, discussing the various postgraduate level programs at Memorial University. Memorial University is the university in Newfoundland, for the time being at least. And today, Ingwe has sponsored this event. We will have a question answer period at the end of the webinar, so please hold on to your questions, and we will be answering questions in various languages: Portuguese, Spanish, Vietnamese, Mandarin, Turkish, and English. So you can type your question in any of these languages, and one of our colleagues will translate them for the presenters. We will quickly dive into it. Quick overview of who Ingwe is, sponsoring this event. We're an immigration investment company based out of Toronto. Our team speaks over 7 languages. We have 3 offices worldwide, and we are an immigration company managed and operated by immigrants. We have a variety of services we offer immigrants and newcomers and potential applicants across Canada and overseas, whether it's education, admissions, study permits, work permits, permanent residency applications, provincial nominee programs, family sponsorships, or even labor market impact assessment applications. And who am I? That's the million-dollar question. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, so I am licensed to help applicants with their immigration questions and processing. I moved to Canada twice. So I moved out once and I moved back in. So that's why I moved to Canada twice. I immigrated myself through 4 different countries, so I understand what immigration is. It's not an easy process. I've sponsored my own spouse to Canada. I've helped my in-laws immigrate to Canada. I help with 4 other family businesses. So immigration is in our bloodlines. It's all around us. Ingwe, you can connect with us on our social media channels, on our website. We do have a bi-weekly event, a live event, where we answer all your immigration questions for free. So any complicated questions you have about immigration, you can connect with us on our social media. A live event, which occurs every 2nd week, where we answer participants' questions. So with no further ado, I will pass it on to Keir, who will let us know more about Memorial University. Let me just hold on. Let me unshare my screen. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Reza, for the introduction. And good afternoon, everyone from St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. My name is Keir, Mcisaac, and I'm an International Student Recruitment Officer with the Office of the Registrar at Memorial. So I focus on undergraduate programs, and I'm just going to share my screen here now. But I I'm going to start off the presentation by talking about some opportunities for studying in Canada, why you might want to consider Canada as a study destination, give you a quick overview of Memorial and its undergraduate programs before handing it off to my colleague Cam to tell you about our graduate studies. So first of all, why would you consider studying in Canada? There's a whole world of opportunity out there for you. Some of you may already be here in Canada, which is great, but some of you may not have been here before. But what is it about Canada that you might want to consider? First of all, you'll find a highly consistent level of quality. No matter which university you choose in Canada, you'll be making an excellent investment in your future. And that high quality is ensured in large part because of the fact that we have almost exclusively government-funded public universities. That government funding really holds us to account to make sure that we maintain our accreditations and maintain that level of quality. But it also is what helps allow us to offer affordable post-secondary education. So it's quite often less expensive to study in Canada than in some other countries. Canada is a multicultural society, a place that welcomes people from around the world to live, study, and work in our country. We celebrate that diversity as well. You also have the opportunity as an international student in Canada, not only to further your studies, but really begin your career while you're in Canada. Starting from day one, you can work part-time, up to 20 hours per week during your studies, and full-time during study breaks. There are opportunities for experiential learning, like co-op, for instance, with full-time paid work experience related to your degree program. And that's offered with a number of our undergraduate and graduate programs. And then when you graduate, you do have that opportunity for a postgraduate work permit of up to 3 additional years. And I believe Reza will talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the presentation today. So lots of great reasons to think about studying in Canada. Now, what about Memorial University? Memorial University of Newfoundland, we were founded in 1925 as a living memorial to soldiers who lost their lives in the First World War. So that's where the name comes from, Memorial. And today, we're a university of just over 18,000 students across 5 campus locations. We have students from well over 115 different countries, representing about 20% of our student body. So in addition to meeting students from all across Canada, you'll meet people from around the world at Memorial. The province is called Newfoundland and Labrador. It's Canada's easternmost province, right on the Atlantic Ocean. Newfoundland is the island portion of the province, which is where we have our campuses in St. John's and Brook, the 2 cities that I'll be telling you about in a moment. It's a place that's well known for having some of the oldest European settlements in North America. In fact, hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus sailed across the Atlantic, we had already had Vikings settle on our northern peninsula. And you can actually see an archaeological site there at Lanza Meadows. Archaeology just happens to be one of the co-op programs that we have available at the undergraduate level. Our climate is fairly moderate. So compared to a city like Toronto, for instance, the winters are not as cold and the summers are not as hot. So you get less extreme temperatures because we're located on the ocean. And our cities are relatively small, but with a small Canadian city, you'll find that it's very safe, welcoming, and friendly. And that makes it a great place to live as well. The largest city and capital of our province is called St. John's. It's one of the oldest cities in Canada, a city that's known for its history and culture. One of my favorite things about St. John's is the music scene. The fact that any night of the week, you could go downtown in St. John's and hear music of all different kinds. There's festivals throughout the year, great nightlife and restaurants, lots of fun things for people to do here in the city. But also within 20 minutes walk from downtown St. John's, you can be right on the Atlantic Ocean. In the springtime, you might even see an iceberg float by. These icebergs break off from Greenland and float down past our city. It's a really beautiful sight to see. There's hiking trails all along the coastline and throughout the city as well. The largest campus of Memorial is called our St. John's campus, and it's home to about 15,000 of our students. So it is considered to be a medium-sized campus compared to other Canadian university campuses. And you'll see in the foreground of this picture our dormitory student residences, and in the background, some of our academic buildings. So you can actually go from your dorm room to the library, to class, to the gym, to the dining hall and back without going outside if you don't want to. Almost all of the buildings are connected through tunnels and pedways, so you can get around the campus very comfortably. There's also a public transit, a bus system that connects the campus to the rest of the city as well. The second campus in St. John's is called the Marine Institute. It's a smaller campus of about 1,000 students that focuses on technical training for the ocean industries. So whereas the St. John's campus offers business, engineering, science, those types of programs, many others as well, the Marine Institute campus would have very hands-on technical training in areas like nautical science or remotely operated underwater vehicles. Really excellent hands-on programs there. The second city where we have our campuses, is called Brook, and it's on the western coast of Newfoundland. It's a smaller city than St. John's and one that's known for outdoor adventure activities like skiing, snowboarding, ziplining, caving, river rafting, mountain biking. It's very close to Grossmore National Park, which is one of the most beautiful parks in Canada. So lots of outdoor activities there for sure. And the Grenfell campus is a smaller that does have unique programs in visual arts, theater, and the programs dealing with the environment as well. There are about 1,400 students on that campus. We also have a small campus located just outside of London in the UK, where you can do short-term study abroad, exchange partnerships with universities around the world, where you can do a semester or a year of study and have that count towards your degree at Memorial. And one of our undergraduate programs, the International Bachelor of Arts, actually requires students to have an international experience. So that could be an internship or a study abroad semester. We have co-op available with a number of our undergraduate programs. Co-op would give students full-time paid work experience as part of their degree. So not only are you able to earn money and gain valuable experience, but you make great contacts within your field or industry that can help you to jobs when you graduate. Co-op is mandatory with commerce, engineering, and human kinetics and recreation, and also optional with some of our arts and science majors, like archaeology, like I mentioned earlier. And even before the pandemic, Memorial was a leader in online education, offering over 550 online courses. So even outside of the pandemic, it is possible to complete some of our full degree programs and many of our courses online, which can even benefit a student who is studying on campus. You might want to take an online course to have greater flexibility in your schedule, for instance. At the undergraduate level and even at the graduate level, we are one of the most affordable universities in Canada. And this slide will show you an estimate of tuition and fees for our undergraduate or bachelor's degree programs. With tuition, accommodations, meals, and all the fees included, we estimate just under 24,000 Canadian dollars per year. We also offer entrance scholarships to students who are applying directly from high school, up to 12,000 Canadian dollars based on your grades when you apply for admission. And there are other scholarship opportunities available after the first year of study based on your academic performance at Memorial. Now I'll briefly go over the undergraduate programs that we have available. The programs on this slide fall under what's called general admission. So there's a minimum criteria for admission, which is outlined on our website. And if you meet that minimum criteria, you will be admitted to an arts, business, environment and sustainability, or science program. And we do have intakes in September and January for these particular programs. For the programs listed on this slide, we require something more than just the minimum. So for instance, if you're interested in the Bachelor of Music program, in addition to meeting the minimum academic requirements, you would have to do a music theory and sight reading test, an audition, and also have a letter of reference from a music teacher. For our engineering program, we're looking for strong grades in math, physics, chemistry, and English, and a higher English proficiency score for that particular program. So depending on the program, there would be some additional requirements for these programs. Our education and social work programs are excellent foundations for careers in education or teaching or social work, but they're not available directly from high school. So there is some prerequisite study that you would do at Memorial first before applying to one of these programs. And for the Marine Institute programs, the website for the Marine Institute is the best resource because each individual program will have some slightly different requirements. A note about our health professional programs. We do offer medicine, nursing, and pharmacy. However, admission to these particular programs is very competitive, and preference is given to Canadians who are residents of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. So it's not impossible, but it is highly competitive to gain admission to these particular programs. The Doctor of Medicine program does require a full bachelor's degree prior to admission. The nursing program is available directly from high school, and the Doctor of Pharmacy program requires 1 year of study in the sciences prior to admission. But it is possible to combine areas of interest as well. So for instance, we offer joint degree programs in arts and science, arts and commerce, and music and business administration, allowing you to complete 2 degree programs normally within a 5-year time frame. It is also possible to do a joint or double major, so you can combine areas of interest within the same faculty or school, to do a minor from a different faculty or school, or to add a certificate or diploma to your degree program. Some of our popular certificate and diploma programs include criminology and creative writing, for instance. So these would be opportunities for you to kind of add on to your program there. We do also have a couple of options in business administration. There is a certificate and a diploma at the undergraduate level in business administration. But just note that those programs, while shorter in length, they're shorter than a bachelor's degree, they do require 5 years of working experience. So there is some more information about that on our website as well. Now, just to finish up on the undergraduate side, you can find more information about our undergraduate programs through our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube accounts. There's a variety of ways to follow us there. For all of our campuses, you can get an idea of what the campus really looks and feels like through our interactive campus map on our website. If you're looking to apply for undergraduate admission, the application is still open for fall or September 2021 admission for most programs, and the deadline is March 1st for general admission. After you receive an offer of admission, then you'll be able to apply for on-campus housing. And this is my contact information. I would welcome you to contact me directly at the email address provided there if you have any questions about undergraduate programs at Memorial. And you'll also see the websites for our three main campuses, the St. John's, Grenfell campus, and Marine Institute. So with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Cam, to introduce graduate studies at Memorial.
Thanks, Cam. So let me share my screen. I just want to do a quick sound test. If you are able to hear me, could you please raise your hand? Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, thanks. Let me share my screen. Okay, so are you able to see my screen now? Oh, sorry, I think. Okay. All right. Okay, so afternoon, everyone, and my name is Cam Ho, and I'm the Recruitment and Retention Coordinator with the School of Graduate Studies. And I'm going to talk briefly about graduate studies at Memorial. As Keir mentioned earlier, Memorial is an internationally ranked and research-intensive university that is home to a growing and diverse group of more than 4,000 talented graduate students. And our faculty members are among the best scholars in the field, acknowledged not only for excellent teaching and research, but also as some of the finest supervisors in the nation. And we are currently ranked number 8 in the comprehensive university category of the Maclean's University ranking for 2020. And in addition to some of the lowest tuition fees in Canada, we have funding opportunities to help you complete your degree program. So let's take a look at your option at Memorial University. As a comprehensive research and teaching university, Memorial offers more than 110 graduate diploma, master, and doctoral programs. You will find our graduate program grouped in 4 categories on our website. Programs offered by our Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, and interdisciplinary programs, which are offered jointly by different faculties, schools, or departments, and professional programs, which are primarily geared toward a specific industry or professions such as nursing, pharmacy, medicine, or engineering. And finally, the program offered by our Faculty of Science, such as agriculture, computer science, agricultural sciences. If you are not sure where to begin, it's a good idea to review each of these groupings to find the program that best suited to your interest, and to understand which program is eligible for the New Pathway Immigration Program. I would recommend you visit the Government of Newfoundland website, or consult with immigration advisors. They can best answer your questions. And from the program page, you can find all information about the program of interest, such as the program description, admission requirements, tuition fees, funding, program routes, mode of delivery, and the application deadline. You can also find a link to the departmental website, which provides more information about the program, and complete list of faculty members to contact in case you are interested in thesis-based program. So Memorial offers 3 main types of graduate credential. Graduate diploma program typically consists of 3 to 5 courses and can be completed in 1 year of full-time study. Master programs are offered in all faculty, schools, and campuses. There are generally 2 types of master degrees, one focused on research and requiring students to complete some coursework and a thesis, and the other focus on professional development requiring coursework only from 10 to 20 courses. And master programs can generally be completed in 1 to 2 years of full-time study. And research master degree programs and some professional master programs can prepare you for a doctoral degree program, for which you are expected to produce original meaningful research in your field study. And doctoral degree program can generally be completed in 4 to 5 years of full-time study. Next, we'll look at eligibility for admission to graduate program. Admission requirement can vary by program. Generally speaking, graduate diploma and related master programs in the same field have the same minimum admission requirements. Master applicants must have completed or be expected to complete an undergraduate in a related field, which means that you're able to apply for master programs if you are completing your bachelor's degree. And doctoral applicants must have completed or be expected to complete a master degree program. The minimum requirements can vary, but to be competitive, you should have a mid-B average or better in your current or prior degree program. Please note that all programs are Memorial or competitive. And applicants who did not previously study in English may be required to achieve a minimum score of English proficiency tests, such as IELTS or TOEFL. However, if the language of instruction in your previous degree program was exclusively English, a test is normally not required. And if you attended university outside of Canada, US, UK, and Australia, and the language of instruction is not clearly indicated in your official transcript, you should request a letter from your University of Registrar's Office indicating that English was the medium of instruction. And some programs will require work experience, which means that you cannot apply directly from undergraduate program. A minimum score in a standardized test, such as GMAT or GRE, or specific prerequisite courses. I would encourage you to visit the program page of our website for your program of interest for any specific requirements. And for research-based program, graduate applicants may also have to additionally meet the minimum requirements for the School of Graduate Studies fellowship to be admissible. And also, the student enrolled in these programs will be assigned a faculty member to supervise, mentor, and guide the research to projects to completion. And applicants are encouraged to contact potential supervisor in advance of submitting an application. And I mean, many students will ask, am I eligible to apply for this program? And I would say that it is very difficult for us to assess your eligibility without a formal application, because we usually have a holistic approach when assessing your application, which means that your work experience, life experience, and non-academic achievements are all considered along with your transcript. So if you are interested in the program, I would encourage you to submit an online application so that your qualification can be fairly assessed. And also the online application will allow you to explain any special circumstances that put your application or your academic performance in perspective. So let's take a look at the cost of graduate studies at Memorial. As Keir mentioned earlier, at Memorial, graduate tuition rates are also among the best, among the lowest in Canada due to the general support of the provincial government in Newfoundland and Labrador. Graduate program fees are charged in regular installments, regardless of the number of courses you take per semester. And the minimum expense from on our website, I listed the link on the top of the page. We'll list all the program fees and payment plans for all graduate programs at Memorial. And in general, for international students, the tuition fees are approximately $4,900 per year for master programs and $4,500 per year for doctoral programs. Other administrative fees or ancillary fees work out to approximately $1,700 per year, and all the fees are listed in Canadian dollars. And I would like to highlight that several programs would have special fees in addition to the tuition fees noted here. And many students would ask, what's the purpose of the special fee? The special fee reflects the additional costs associated with in-demand professional programs in both teaching and administration, and more relative to a traditional research-based program. And again, please visit our website for more details about the fees at Memorial. And also, it's important to remember that for research programs, funding packages are offered to all eligible students. And funding packages draw from three major sources: the School of Graduate Studies Fellowship, Supervisor Grants, and Graduate Assistantship. And there's no need to apply for funding separately. You will be automatically considered for funding when you apply for admission to a research-based program. And if you are successfully gain admission and offer funding, the funding type and amount will be listed in the offer admission. Now we took a look at the application process. First, you will need to select a program and check for the application deadline and the available intake. Then identify and collect on the required support documents. When you're ready, you need to create an account and submit your application form online through our website. And all support documents such as transcript, confirmation of degree awarded, or your resume should be uploaded to the online application. We only require official documents after you are admitted to the program. And for step-by-step on how to apply, and then please visit our website. You can also find further information about the program and deadline through our apply page. And the link listed here also offers you helpful video tutorial on how to apply, select referees, and draft a statement of interest. And that's it for graduate studies at Memorial. If you have any further questions, or anything that we are not able to answer your question about, for your question about grad studies today, I would ask that you email sgs@man.ca, and we normally get back to you within 1 business day. Okay, so now I am.
Great, thank you, Cam. That was a great presentation. Thank you, Keir. As you can see, there's still programs open for the September 2021 undergraduate intake period. They even offer short-term studies, which are not 3-year bachelors based on eligibility. And those are some of the lowest master's tuition prices I've seen for international students across Canada. So we're receiving some great questions. We'll answer them at the end of the webinar. and I will dive into the fastest 12 minutes in immigration that you will ever watch in your lifetimes. And I do apologize to everybody if it does seem confusing. There's just too many immigration programs and details to cover within this time frame. Let's do the ABCs of Atlantic Canada. What is Atlantic Canada? The 4 provinces of Canada which are in the Atlantic: Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland. Newfoundland being the 3rd most populated Atlantic province, but has the largest landmass. Nova Scotia having the largest population. New Brunswick is 2nd in terms of population, and Prince Edward Island in both categories is the smallest. So in case you don't know where they are, when we're talking about Atlantic provinces or Atlantic immigration programs, these are the provinces in the far east of Canada. So let me go into the next. Hold on. Okay. This is a quick graph from StatsCan. During COVID, there has been a huge drop in international migration to Canada, whether it's permanent residents or temporary residents, whether like international students. So if you see the red graph, the red bar in the graph, there's almost a 50% drop during 2020 because of COVID. This has obviously affected population growth across Canada. And if you can draw your attention to the right corner where you see NL, Newfoundland was the only province which actually had negative population growth during COVID. So it's basically hit Canada during 2020, and the Atlantic provinces are typically the ones that have the least amount of population growth. And in this case, you'll see that one of them actually had negative population growth, which is why they're very, let's say, bullish or flexible with new immigration programs to attract more immigrants and international students, international workers to their provinces. Here's a general overview of the differences that you can expect when you're looking at other provinces meaning all the provinces outside of the Atlantic, excluding Quebec, and the Atlantic provinces. Atlantic provinces, again, being Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. If you're in these provinces, you're always, you can apply for federal express entry because it's eligible for people inside and outside of Canada, no matter where you are, as long as you meet the eligibility criteria. Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program is only for Atlantic provinces. So that is not a program that you can apply for typically while you're employed or working or studying in another province. The Rural Regional Pilot Program is basically a program in the rural cities of other provinces, typically in the north. So if you're in Toronto, Vancouver, or the major cities, these are not areas where the Rural Regional Pilot Program would be accessible. And then we have the provincial nominee programs, which are in all the provinces, excluding Quebec, where the name is different, and the Atlantic provinces. So the point is, if you're in the Atlantic provinces, you have access to the federal express entry, you have access to the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, and you have access to each of the province's own nomination programs. Okay, don't be overwhelmed by this chart. Look at the left column. Those are the 3 programs: express entry, Atlantic Immigration Pilot, and the provincial nominee. I'm going to go quickly through them and do a quick comparison. Okay, so this is the bird's eye view of the general differences. A job offer is not mandatory for federal express entry. Okay, but in Atlantic Immigration Pilot and the provincial programs, 99% of the time, it's mandatory. There's only 3 streams in the Atlantic provinces where a job offer is not mandatory. Okay, eligible from outside of Canada. Yes, Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, it's eligible as long as you have a job offer. Federal express entry, correct. You could be inside, outside. As long as you meet the eligibility criteria, you can apply. Provincial nominee programs, some of them are eligible for outside applicants, and some of them are specific for applicants inside of the province. So there's always a variation on that. Languages exam scores. What are the differences between these three programs? Well, the highest expectation is for the express entry with a Canadian language benchmark of 7, which is equivalent to an IELTS exam score of 6.0 for each band. The Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, there's a requirement of a Canadian language benchmark of 4. And then Provincial Nominee Program, they have several programs. Some of them do require it and some don't. So you do have flexibility to apply under the provincial programs and not provide the language proficiency exam. But you do need to prove that you can speak and communicate in either English or French. Do you have to study inside the province to be able to apply for these programs? Express entry, no, because it's not directly linked to any specific international student stream. Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, they have an international stream for international students, which is specific to graduates of students in the Atlantic provinces. And you would have to have a 2-year program of study, not a 1-year. Provincial nominee programs, no, you don't need to have studied inside the province except certain programs which are very specific. So it is open. So we have a lot of clients who do move from, let's say, Ontario to the Atlantic provinces to apply for some of the provincial programs there when they do find employment. Open to spouses of international students. Yes, all 3 programs are eligible, do allow that. Provincial nominee programs have different programs, so some are very specific to international students, but some are specific only for skilled workers who have job offers. So this could include your spouse if you're an international student inside of Canada. And as you know, if you're a full-time student in a public institution, your spouse is eligible for an open spousal work permit. Is there minimum work experience required to apply for these programs? Express entry, yes, 100% mandatory. For the Atlantic Immigration Pilot, yes, but not for the international graduate stream. So if you just studied a 2-year program in one of the Atlantic provinces, received a job offer, you meet the eligibility criteria under this program, you do not require work experience. In the provincial nominee program, I've got a check mark in the next because it depends on the program. So they have both types of programs at the provincial level. Can you apply if you have a skill level C or D occupation for the job offer? In express entry, no. So all the occupations in Canada are classified in terms of skill level, and we call them the National Occupation Classification System, which is NOC. Express entry, you have to have a 0A or B, which is a higher skill level. In the Atlantic Immigration Pilot, it accepts C, so we have intermediate skill level stream. And in the provincial level, depending on the program, it accepts most of the occupation skill levels, but again, it's very specific to the province and the program. But a variety of these programs are available in the Atlantic provinces, which do allow applicants to apply with C level, for example, job offers. Is there an age limit? No, but the provincial programs, some of them do have age limits. In the express entry, you lose a lot of points when your age is above 29. And as you get closer to 40s and 50s, you gain no points for age, but there is no limit. Same with the Atlantic Immigration Pilot. Is it a points-based system? So you have to be careful with this. Express entry is purely based on points. So they allocate points to your age, education, language ability, and other transferability of skills to Canada. Atlantic Immigration Pilot is not based on a points-based system, but a job offer is obviously mandatory, but in express entry, it isn't. In the provincial nominee programs, you see that Nova Scotia, there is no point system. Newfoundland has both. So there are some point systems and some of them are not. New Brunswick is points-based system and Prince Edward Island is a points-based system. Points-based system meaning that they will allocate points and select the highest ranked profiles from the system. Employer eligibility In the express entry, job offers are not mandatory, so there is no employer eligibility criteria. Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program is the strictest because your employer has to be designated and on the list of approved employers for this program. Otherwise, it would not be possible to apply. Under the provincial programs, they have very general employer eligibility criteria. Some of them are stricter, like Newfoundland, where there has to be a list of approved employers, and some of them are more relaxed in terms of having 1 or 2 years business, being in business for 1 or 2 years for the employer who's giving you the job offer. Okay, so this was a general bird's eye view comparison of the 3 programs, especially when you're looking at the Atlantic. Let's look at Newfoundland, the provincial nominee programs. Okay, since if you're considering Memorial University as an example, there's 5 programs potentially that you could apply under. We're going to concentrate on the new priority skills stream. Hold on. I think I'm faster than my computer. Okay, so what is this new priority skills stream? This was announced late last year in 2020. You basically need to obtain 60 points minimum according to the points matrix that Newfoundland has provided. And there's 2 options. So either you have graduated from a master's or PhD program from Memorial University in the past 3 years in those 4 subjects that you see on your screen, or you have work experience for at least 1 year in a high demand occupation in the past 10 years. And these high demand occupations are listed on the provincial website. Other criteria is language proficiency, so either English or French, Canadian language benchmark 5. If you don't know what the CLB equivalent is, you can reach out to us and we'll let you know after the webinar. And you have to be minimum age 21. There is no maximum age. I think I skipped one page. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, so yeah, so here's a list of the in-demand occupations. And this also is in line with the programs that you may want to study at Memorial at the graduate level if you're thinking of applying under this stream after you graduate. So healthcare, physicians, nurses, and medical physicists and all that. In demand in the IT sector. So there's a whole bunch of occupations you see on your screen, developers, specialists, whether it's web, AI, electrical engineers, infrastructure, technical writers. In demand in the aquaculture sector, these are very specialized. So these are the occupations. If you do have experience in these, you may apply under the provincial program in Newfoundland. If you study in those 4 subjects which are related to these fields and graduate from Memorial University through the master's or PhD program, you could be eligible to apply as well. Well, here's the trick. If you study for a master's program at Memorial and you have you receive the maximum amount of points for your age and your language, you will still not be selected because you will not be able to reach 60 points. So that's a little detail that you should consider. Unless you have family or relatives in Newfoundland, or you've graduated from your PhD, or you have Canadian work experience. So if you just graduate from a master's in Memorial, you don't have any Canadian work experience prior to becoming a student or after graduation, and you don't have any family or relatives there, you will not be selected. Okay, so you'd have to continue and gain that Canadian work experience. If you graduate from PhD, it's perfectly fine. You will meet the minimum 60 points. For the high demand work category, so if you only have the work experience in those high demand occupations and you didn't study in Newfoundland, you still have a chance to meet the 60 points. So that gives you an idea that who would possibly have the highest chances of applying and being selected. There's approximately 250 to 300 invitations or applications that are accepted and invited for permanent residency under this specific program. for the entire year. You have to reside. You have to have the intention to live in this province, even while your PR is under process. Okay, so if you're planning to move out, this is not the program for you. So here's another program that's highly talked about. This is New Brunswick. Okay, a lot of students, I'm hearing a lot of questions and comments about this program where you have an express entry profile and you're studying at a post-secondary institution in New Brunswick, and you could be selected for PR. Well, it's not that simple. First of all, you have to have an express entry profile. This is called the Skilled Worker Express Entry Stream for New Brunswick. When you do have a valid express entry profile, you have two options. So there's one stream where you're enrolled in a public post-secondary school in New Brunswick, and there's you have minimum 1 year work experience, because otherwise you wouldn't even be able to get the express entry profile. And you can apply 3 months prior to completing your 1 year degree or closer to completing your degree based on the duration. And you have 6 months after graduation to apply. There's no job offer required. But please consider that not everybody will be selected. The province will be selective in terms of your occupation, your profile. So there's no guarantee you will be selected just by studying or being enrolled at a New Brunswick post-secondary institution. The second stream is you have a job offer from an employer in that province. They pay you a median wage, you intend to live there, you have an express entry profile, and you can be selected from the province, which issues you a 600-point nomination certificate, which will boost you in your express entry profile to be invited for permanent residency. This is the key wording on the New Brunswick website. New Brunswick will on occasion invite candidates directly from the federal express entry pool in response to provincial labor market needs. This means that we're not going to select everybody. This is a fact. So when they feel like they need nurses, when they need web developers or software developers or financial specialists, they will come into this pool of applicants who've applied under the provincial program with an express entry profile to invite them for PR. So it does not mean by default that if you study at that college or post-secondary institution in New Brunswick that you will be selected for PR in this program. So again, this is skilled worker non-express entry stream. So there's a non-express entry stream in New Brunswick as well. Again, they have their own points-based system where you have to meet minimum 60 points. You have to have a job offer, okay, a permanent job offer. The wage has to be median. So median is not minimum, it's in between, it's not high, it's not low. No work experience required. So if you're an international student, you graduate from a New Brunswick post-secondary institution, you have no work experience, but you do receive a job offer, you would be eligible under this program if you meet the 60 points, and you will gain an additional 10 points if your job offer is in one of these 5 categories, which means that they're prioritizing these industries. It just gives you an idea. Nova Scotia, I did a general little table because if I want to go into detail for every single Atlantic province, we're here all night. The advantages, so Nova Scotia is one of the few provinces in the Atlantic that does not have a points-based system for the selection of its PR applicants. Okay, so that's great. Language proficiency exam is not mandatory for international students. So it means that you have to prove that you know how to communicate in English or French, but you don't need to provide the exam score. International students graduated from outside of the province are eligible to apply under their skilled worker programs. Some of the disadvantages for the Nova Scotia program, you do need work experience. So it doesn't matter if you studied there, you're an international student, or you're not, you do need work experience, minimum 1 year for all of the programs. Age limit, again, max 55. So that's another disadvantage for Nova Scotia provincial programs. Looking at the Prince Edward Island programs, advantages, disadvantages, this is one of the smallest provinces in the Atlantic, and I believe it is the smallest province in all of Canada. The advantages here are there's no experience required, again, for international students who find a job there. So if you do receive a job offer, no work experience is required. There's also no points-based system for the international student stream. Language proficiency exam score is mandatory, like an IELTS or a CELPIP or the French equivalent. And international students graduated from outside of the province are not eligible to apply under this international student stream. So if you have no work experience and you've studied and graduated from another province, don't plan to move there and apply under that program. You would require work experience to apply under the different programs in that specific province, okay? So what are some of the key points to consider besides these immigration programs? In the Atlantic provinces, there's a lot of connection, the connectors, that's what they call them. And these institutions help international students find career services, placements, co-op, job services. So the Atlantic provinces are very proactive in that. You have career services in colleges and universities all across Canada, but in the Atlantic provinces, they're much more proactive. They have all these institutions in each province that is there to help students from their post-secondary institutions and to match them with, let's say, employers and co-op placements and provide career services. So this is what I really like about the land. They're very supportive of students who plan to graduate from their schools there and looking for a career. Here's a promotion that we're offering for all webinar viewers, 50% off our consultation. So if you have questions, if you're planning to move to the Atlantic, if you're in Canada, if you're outside of Canada, use this promo code Atlantic. Go on our website, ingwe.ca/store. Get 50% off a consultation, and we will answer all your questions. If you need us to represent you in any way, if you have any specific cases, we're always available to help you. So remember that promo code Atlantic. It's always good to save money. Why not? Thank you. And here's our contact info, our website, our email address. You can connect with us on our social media. We do answer all immigration questions on our bi-weekly live events. So if you connect with us on our social media, you'll be made aware of these bi-weekly live events. If no matter how complicated your immigration question is, we will answer them during these live events. So it's a free resource to use. Why not? And basically, I'm going to pass it on to Barish, who will help us now to answer your questions that have been posted throughout the webinar. Thank you. And again, I know immigration is very overwhelming. I went through it very quickly, but I had no choice. And I'm always available afterwards to answer any questions any of the attendees have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reza. And thank you to Keir and Cam for their amazing presentations about the Memorial University. And as Reza mentioned, we received great questions throughout the webinar. And now we are going to be diving into those questions. And actually, to start, there was a question in the chat saying, is this presentation will be available? And it's yes. We are recording this webinar, and we will be put this recording of this webinar to our YouTube channel, Ingwe Canada YouTube channel, in a few days. And everyone who is participating in this webinar will receive the direct link from us via email. So please check your inboxes this week, and from there you can watch the entire webinar from our YouTube channel. So let's go into the questions. We have great questions, and the first one, actually, I think one of the most with the COVID, I think it's one of the most important questions now. This is for Keir and Cam. It says, are you doing virtual classes now? Does Memorial offers virtual classes at the moment?
Yes, I'll take that one. For the fall and winter semesters of this academic year, we have been offering primarily remote or online courses. There's some very small exceptions, but for the most part, any of our new undergraduate students certainly would be able to start their programs fully online during this academic year. As of now, we have not made a decision or an announcement on the mode of delivery beyond April 2021. So I expect that decision to be announced probably soon, within the next few weeks, I would think. And that will be posted to our website.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Keir. And we have another question. I think this is for Cam. It's actually two questions at once. The first one is, what is the percentage of acceptance for the MA of Political Science? And the second is the follow-up question, do I need a professor to be my supervisor for the MA co-op stream?
For this question, unfortunately, I don't have the statistic to share regarding the acceptance rates for the specific programs, but I would say for international applicants, it's approximately like 30 to 40%. But I would, this is my word to international applicants, please worry less about their acceptance rates, but pay more attention on how to build a strong and outstanding application. And for the second question, I think it's about the co-op. Do you need supervisor for
Supervisor?
No, the co-op route does not require supervisors. So you are not required to contact potential supervisor before applying for that program.
Perfect. And also, I think it's the same person asked this follow-up question. Would a MA co-op pathway make me eligible for a PhD program?
I would say that to be eligible for a doctoral program, for any doctoral programs, you would need to have extensive experience in research, right? So it's not mandatory, but it's nice to have. So the co-op route will be considered for doctoral program, but I would encourage you to get more research experience in order to overcome a little bit lack of research at the master level.
Okay, thank you so much, Cam. And we have a question about immigration, this time the visas. I think this is for Reza. Reza, one of our viewers asked that, is it possible to get a visa to Canada if my wife got a student visa? And what will be the title of my visa? Will I be permitted to work in this case if my wife have a student visa?
So if your wife is a full-time international student at a post-secondary institution in Canada, you would be eligible for open spousal work permit. And typically they don't issue that right now a lot from outside, but if you do come into Canada and apply, yeah, that would be the best possible route to obtain that. You could apply from overseas, but right now with COVID, I don't think you'll see a work permit for another 6 months if you're going through the embassy.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Reza. And let's look into other questions. And I guess this is, again, for Reza about permanent residency opportunities and MBA in British Columbia. Will it be eligible for the program of permanent residency?
Yes, so there's 3 provinces in Canada that have the postgraduate stream for permanent residency. It's BC, British Columbia, it's on the other end of Canada, Ontario, where we are, and Newfoundland, which is quite a new program. In BC, it's very program specific. So let's say in Newfoundland, I mentioned those 4, I believe it was 4 subjects that are approved for this program. BC, it's program and institution specific. So they have a list on their website that states what master's programs or PhD programs are approved. But yes, if you're in those programs, you can apply for your permanent residency. But please note, it's not MBAs don't lead to permanent residencies in British Columbia. In Ontario, they do.
Okay, thank you so much, Reza. And let's look into other questions. I think this is a good question. Maybe we can highlight for all the programs in Memorial University. One of our viewers asked that, does Memorial University have intakes in January for the Masc in computer engineering? Or maybe Keir and Cam maybe like highlight the intake periods for Memorial University in general for our viewers to remember again.
So quickly, I guess I'll let Cam look that up in case she needs to, but the undergraduate level, we accept applications in January for our general admission programs, which would include arts, business, and science. But for any competitive entry programs like engineering, nursing, visual arts, theater, music, programs like that would be available in September only.
Perfect.
I just would like to highlight for graduate for graduate programs. First, back to the questions that ask. The Masc programs has two intakes. One is the fall, and the other one is in winter, which is January, right? And for any other program, the intake would vary by program. So I would encourage applicants to visit our website for further details about the intake and the application deadline, because some programs will have intake. Most of the program will have intake in the fall, but the application deadline will vary. So yeah.
Perfect. And also, what was the website, Cam? Maybe for our viewers to remember again how they can contact you guys.
Okay, so I just post the website here in
Perfect.
the
On the chat box. Yes.
oh, I think I should put it to everyone. I don't know how to
Yes, I can just do it quick.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cam. So if anyone would like to connect with the Memorial University about the master programs, you guys can visit www.mun.ca/masterplan, and you can ask all of your questions from there directly to the graduate program. So let's move forward with the next question. Let's see. Okay, one of our viewers asked, in Memorial website, Diploma in Business Administration is online only. Is this correct? Or we have in-person course in Diploma in Business Administration?
So there are two separate Diploma in Business Administration programs. One is an undergraduate program just called the Diploma in Business Administration, and the other is a graduate Diploma in Business Administration. So they are a little bit different. The undergraduate program can be completed fully online or under normal circumstances on campus. But as I noted earlier, this academic year, almost all of our courses have been online. But in a normal year, again, online or on campus. Cam, did you want to speak to the graduate diploma in business administration?
The postgraduate diploma in business administration is designed to be offered. I mean, well, it's a mixed program, right? You can take some courses online, but some courses are also offered on campus. However, in the past 3 semesters, it has been offered online. So yeah, I mean, some courses can be taken online and some courses can be offered on campus.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And let's move forward with the next question. One of our viewers is asking that the master program that you showed in the presentation is around $4,000 per year. Oh, our viewers is asked, like, is $4,000 per year or semester, they ask. And also they ask that are the master programs mostly 2 years for Memorial University?
Yes, I mean the total cost for an like 2 years master program is approximately $10,000 for 2 years. And so if you visit our website, you can see the specific amount that needs to be paid for each semester. And yes, most of the program can be completed in 2 years, but as I mentioned earlier, some programs can be completed in 1 year.
Perfect. So there are options for people to study only for 1 year as well. So again, we will highly encourage everyone to visit the website to get the most of the details. And also there's a question for Reza about the prior to skilled worker stream. One of our viewers asked that, is like the work experience required for the priority skilled worker stream in Newfoundland? So is it a requirement?
I was just typing the answer for them. So I'm reading not for the
Perfect timing.
postgraduate stream. So if you're studying and you've graduated from the approved master's subjects and PhD subjects at Memorial, no. But if you do apply through the high demand occupation stream, you need minimum 1 year. And again, please note, if you do graduate from a master's program and you have no Canadian work experience, you don't have any relatives or family in Newfoundland, and it is not your PhD, but rather master's, you will not receive enough points to be selected. So it's a bit tricky. You may need work experience, but if you do have those, then you don't need work experience. So unfortunately, immigration, there's never a clear answer, but that basically answers it. You do not technically need work experience if you go through Memorial University postgraduate programs in those 4 subjects. But in the other stream, yes, you do need it.
And also one of our viewers asked that, Reza, about the age and the children about the express entry. So they say they are 38 years old, they've been married for over 10 years, and they have 2 small children. The first question is, the older you are, the lower the score. This is right, I know from after 29 years old, the score you get for express entry is getting lower. And they also asked that, do they earn points for having children?
No, they should have that. That's a good idea. I think Canada needs a bigger population. So, but unfortunately, no, you don't receive additional points. The provincial program points are different from the federal. So 38 years old is not bad in terms of the provincial programs. They like the 20s to mid 30s or even late 30s. So you don't lose that many points in the provincial. But in the federal, yes, your chances are definitely much lower.
Perfect. And also another question about MA Co-op for Cam. One of our viewers asked that, is there any funding opportunities for MA Co-op students or only for the research stream?
Well, I mean, we do offer funding for research-based programs and some programs in humanities and social sciences. So if you are interested in the MA Co-op program, but in humanities and social sciences, there will be a chance that you have funding. However, don't quote me on that, because funding, it depends on the availability of the funding for each year, right? So yeah. Or,
Sure.
but normally funding will be secured for research-based programs.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Cam. And I'm also at the same time trying to look at our chats as well. I think there are some questions there.
There's an interesting question, Barish, if you don't mind me.
Please go ahead.
There's the pathway. There's a lot of questions about pathway. So Keir and Cam, maybe you can both elaborate on that. A lot of people, they don't have the English or French proficiency exam scores. They want to go through a pathway language program to improve their English for academic purposes. If they have studied outside of Memorial University's English pathway programs, would they be eligible for admission? So if you can elaborate.
Sure, yeah. So first of all, we do have English pathway programs on our St. John's and Grenfell campuses. So intensive English programs that are designed to prepare students for academic study. If a student goes through a different program outside of Memorial University, they would typically have to complete a standardized test course. We'd be looking for IELTS or TOEFL or Kale, Duolingo. At the undergraduate level, we do accept this year. So there are some options in terms of standardized tests, but the completion of an outside program on its own would generally not be sufficient to meet our requirement for English.
Okay.
I would like to add that currently MUN has its own online test like it's called Mantel. So if you study somewhere else, and then you can take that test in order to be eligible for a program, master or undergraduate program at Memorial, instead of TOEFL or IELTS or Duolingo. But sorry, we no longer, for grads, we no longer accept Duolingo.
Perfect. And also we have a lot of Spanish questions in the chat as well, and we have a team member right now who is native language is Spanish, so we're gonna like take her in to answer some of the questions in Spanish for our Spanish speaking viewers. So she's gonna be joining us in a second. Carolina. Hi, Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I've been chatting with the guys in the chat window. Most of the questions have already been answered. A lot of the questions were related to pathways. So I'm going to give the information that you just gave in Spanish now. But I just wanted to add, we had one question. One person has applied to one of your masters, but he's once he finishes the program, he's not going to be able to get the admission to the master's. So basically, how do you articulate that with your EAP and the entry to the master's? Especially because apparently he had already a supervisor, but because his English was not enough, then basically he wants to know if he goes back to square one, or how does that work?
Well, normally if he graduates from universities and in Canada, we do not require a proof of English proficiency. So
what he's saying, he actually enrolled in your EAP.
I think ESL.
And at Memorial.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Well, normally after someone enrolling in an ESL program, and then if he would like to apply for master program, he needs to get a certificate, or they need to pass a test from ESL just to certify that he's eligible.
So basically, he needs to finish his EAP before applying. Okay. Okay, I will translate this. Thank you, Cam. Para todos los que estaban preguntando acerca de el inglés, la disponibilidad de inglés y Pathway en la universidad, efectivamente ellos tienen su programa de inglés. Básicamente deben cursar el programa de inglés que Memorial University tiene, finalizar el programa de inglés y con ese certificado poder postular a un máster. Al máster que digamos están ofreciendo. Lamentablemente ellos no ofrecen Pathway de otras escuelas. Como saben, en otras escuelas se pueden hacer Pathway que son los cursos de idioma, lo hacen en escuelas de inglés y ese Pathway es válido para ciertas universidades. En el caso de Memorial no es válido, sin embargo, para ellos la única opción sería o su programa de inglés o tomar algún examen. Sin embargo, ellos tienen un examen de inglés. Si no quieren tomar IELTS y no quieren tomar TOEFL, pueden acceder a un examen que ellos mismos tienen en la universidad. Okay, Barry, pretty much, I think that sums things up.
Perfect. And also, I think we need to wrap up in a few minutes anyway. And also, we are always available. I know there are a lot of questions in the chat and the Q&A box. We are so excited to see these questions and so happy to see these questions. And if you have any specific questions to us, as Reza mentioned in his presentation, we offer our services in 7 languages, including Vietnamese, Mandarin, Turkish, Portuguese, Spanish. So if you would like to ask a specific question in your own language, please email us at info@ingwe.ca and we will get back to you right away. And so I just want to quickly finish up with one last question, and then we can just wrap everything up. I'm just looking at my notes.
And then I'll do a small legal footnote at the end.
Sure, sure.
Based on the immigration advice I give.
I think, again, this is another hot topic for everyone. They ask, for my future plan, can I study online for master degree at Memorial University? So they are wondering if the online opportunities are still available for people to study at a master's degree in Memorial University.
Oh, I mean, yes, we do have programs of, that can be completed entirely online. But I mean, if they would like to understand if online program is eligible for immigration, so that's a different question, right? So if it is for the purpose of immigration, I guess Riza would be the best to answer this one. But yeah, we do offer online programs at Memorial University. So I would encourage everyone to visit our website for further information.
Yeah, I think that's a great connection to Reza as well. Thank you, Cam. And I think this is a question for everyone, Reza. I think people worried about if they study online, they will be able to get their post-graduation work permit. Are they going to be eligible to work in Canada if they study online? So maybe you can clarify that for our viewers as well.
Yeah, so according to the government so far, up to, I believe, end of April or some specific date in April, it's allowed and it will not affect your immigration status. So we have clients who are studying from back home in their own countries and they're considered a full-time student just because of COVID. So if COVID wasn't here, this would not be the case. And we have to wait for the new updated policies, which will be announced, I guess, in the next 2-3 months on whether this policy will be continued or whether everybody, all the international students studying remotely overseas have to come in and as well in terms of studying online while you're in Canada. But I believe studying online while you're in Canada with the COVID situation is probably going to continue, considering what's going on, at least in the rest of Canada. I think Atlantic Canada is doing quite well in terms of COVID. And one last footnote before we sign off is that, so the same immigration question can have multiple answers based on your profile. So don't consider one answer to be applicable to your profile if somebody else is asking it. Each profile is different, each eligibility criteria, each question, all these may vary. No one specific immigration case is identical. Never generalize in immigration. That's basically the most important thing that you can take away from what I just said. And that's it, basically. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reza. And we, again, offer our best regards to our speakers today, Keir and Cam from Memorial University. Thank you for amazing, very detailed presentations. And we hope that every one of our viewers found the information that we gave very beneficial. We just sent our information in the chat box, but if you have any more questions for us, you can reach us at ingwe.ca/contact us, and we will be able to support your questions in 7 languages, including Vietnamese, Spanish, Mandarin, Portuguese, and Turkish. And of course, if you have any questions for Cam and Keir, you can directly contact them from their email address or the website as well. And just a reminder, we will be putting this recording, we will be putting the recording of this webinar to our YouTube channel in a few days, and you will be able to receive the direct link to watch it from there. So you can review the entire presentation from there as well if you have any additional questions that you have in your mind. We would like to thank you everyone who attended, and hopefully you are safe and healthy during these times. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.